Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to Static Screen Episode 3, your podcast for everything nerdy in regards to movies and television. And hot diggity damn, do we ever have a show this week. Usually we have a lot of movie stuff to go over, but this week we got a lot of TV stuff to cover. And joining me this week, of course, the one and only from the House of Rage, ECW James.
Konnichiwa!
How are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. Actually, I had a very good day today.
That's good to hear, man. That's really good to hear.
It's about fucking time, let me tell you. I just need to get the girlfriend situation squared away and I'm golden.
Mm-hmm.
Someday.
We've got quite the week here. We got some really exciting TV news to go over this week. I know both of us are really amped up to talk about that one.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a topic of the week that will cover a topic that will let you know more about the two of us. Kind of like what me and Izzy did over on Glitched Out this week as well with favorite games, so... Anyway,
after hearing our list, they'll still want to come back and listen to us.
Hopefully, yes. So, without further ado, we start this show like we always do and talk about what we've been watching this past week. And I'm going to start with you this week because I really don't have that much to cover. What have you been watching, James?
Well, besides the one topic we're probably going to save for last, because, we both watched it.
Yeah.
Two movies I actually sat down and watched. One of them was a nice little foreign film from, where was it from again, Art? That's in Argentina. Austria. Thank you. Sad because I actually looked it up so I could tell you. From Austria, with the American title of Blood Glacier. Basically, imagine the movie Evolution mixed with John Carpenter's The Thing.
An interesting combo, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you can, watch it in the original German, because the dubbing is fucking awful. Like at one point, they're screaming at each other, and here's how they're screaming. Well, why didn't you do what I told you to do? And, of course, the actor on camera is, veins are popping out of their foreheads, eyes are bulging out.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you keeping this a secret from the minister? The minister needs to know this. And, yeah. But besides that, the special effects were really good. Very practical effects. There was very few CGI effects in the movie. And it was a good little horror/thriller.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend it.
Okay, cool.
But like I said, if you see it in German. Titles. You'll thank me. The second movie I watched was a bit of a letdown and a sequel to a movie that that's kind of near and dear to my heart. Thanksgiving 3. And
gobble.
Gobble, motherfucker. He actually says that in the movie.
Oh, God.
Which is a movie about a psychotic, demonic, rubber puppet of a turkey going around killing people because he hates Thanksgiving. Well, at least that's what it was in the first one. And this one, he was going around killing random people trying to find the copies of Thanksgiving 2 because there was a curse that would damn all of humanity for all of eternity, encoded on the DVD.
Okay.
Yeah, and our main protagonist was a fucking puppet. Like fucking walked off the set of Sesame Street puppet. Who lost her mind and couldn't remember who she was or where she was going. And yet, she was the only one that could save humanity from the vile turkey.
Oh, God. That sounds like a horror movie that the Muppets would make just as a spoof.
Yeah, except for there's a lot more nudity, a lot more blood. But still, it's just, it lost me. Like, it's hard to lose me in a movie, especially a cheesy horror movie, but this one lost me. By the end of the movie, I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would like to say it was as bad as The Room, and there's a motorcycle going by my window. What the fuck? I'd like to say it was as bad as The Room, but at least with The Room, you can watch it again.
That's saying something.
You know, you can sit through it multiple times. This one, I don't. It's like, yeah, no, it sucked. I don't want to see it again. I want to drink tequila until I forget it. That's how bad it is.
Ouch.
But yeah, the stuff I put myself through for our viewers or listeners.
Well, viewers too, technically, kind of.
Technically, yeah. The shit I put myself through. How about you? What was the other show you were watching?
Yeah, I haven't watched much this week, but I did watch the new episode of Hannibal that came out, season 3.
Oh, damn it! I need to watch that.
It was interesting. You know, well shot, well done as per usual as far as Hannibal is concerned. But it's showing what happened to him at the end of after season 2. I can't say much because it would be spoiling season 2, so I really don't want to go down that route. But needless to say, the only character we really see here is Hannibal and what's been going on with him. We don't see the other main cast of characters from season 1 and 2 in this episode, so it's kind of leaving it, like, making you wanting to know what happened to those characters. But at the same time, it just shows where Hannibal is now, what you think his mindset is, because you never really know with Hannibal Lecter.
Well, of course not. He's a great villain. You're never supposed to know where his allegiances truly are.
Exactly. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. I can't say much onto it because I really don't want to go into spoiler territory, and it's one of those shows you haven't seen, so
yeah.
I don't want to talk
I do plan on watching it. I mean, you've showed me a few scenes before, like the one where he was talking about the guy peeling his face off and feeding it to the dog.
Yep.
Which I'm surprised that made it on air.
Yeah, for an NBC show, they get away with a lot of stuff.
Well, they're making them a lot of money.
Yep.
They got to compete with what's out there.
And speaking of, it's time to go down our spoiler hole again. Because we're going to talk about Game of Thrones. So, folks, if you don't want to hear us talk about Game of Thrones again, there is the channel select button down in the corner. You can skip ahead to our news section if you so desire. So, yeah, that last episode.
Wow.
I would say it doesn't live up to the episode 9s of previous seasons, but there were some shocking events that took place.
Considering I've only watched last season and this season, I tried watching the other seasons, but I just couldn't. It just, I don't know why that is. It just, I couldn't sit through them. But, last season, you had that big epic fight on the wall.
Yeah.
And this season, it was a bit more, parts of it were a bit more plot driven.
Yep. Technically, we got this year's episode 9 on last week's episode 8, basically.
Yeah, definitely. But I'd like to start off. Who's the king?
The current king, or
the current king, the one that's marching towards.
Oh, him. That's Stannis Baratheon.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
This whole season has been like a redeeming arc for him until that point.
Oh, fuck. As a parent,
yep.
that saddened me greatly and angered me so fucking much.
Yeah, that was so hard to watch.
For those of you wondering, since we're in the spoiler bunker, we should call it that from now on, the spoiler bunker. Safe from all the haters. Deeply ensconced. I like that word. For those of you who don't give a damn and who have seen it, he finally gave in to the pressure and sacrificed his daughter to be burned alive as a sacrifice.
Yeah, that... Oh, man. Just everything leading up to that was horrifying.
And sad part is, when he went in to talk to her, you knew. It's like, no, don't. You knew that's what his goal was.
Yep, and if she had said, like, no or something, he wouldn't have done it, but...
She had volunteered to help any way she could. And as for her mom, too little too late, bitch.
Yeah. For somebody who didn't give a shit about her daughter through the entire series.
No,
She was the only person, though. I will give her that. She was the only person who had regrets at the end of it there.
Oh, you could tell by looking at older soldiers they didn't want to do this. I mean, just the fact that they kept showing that one really old soldier, the one with the long gray beard, and he kept looking down and looking away like, no, I can't. I can't do this.
Yep.
And thank God they didn't show...
Yeah.
But just hearing the yells and screams was... Oh, Christ, that was rough.
Yep, very, very much so. And it makes you wonder now, like, even if he succeeds in getting the Iron Throne, he's going to be known as, like, Stannis the Mad, the dude who burned his daughter alive to get the throne.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely someone stepping up to take over the mantle of the Mad King. Because how many other peoples has he burned alive?
Oh, so goddamn many.
Exactly. And just
he'll be
fuck
known.
him. Fuck him.
He'll be known as Stannis the Toasty by the end of it.
The toaster.
Yeah. I am friends with a group of horrible people, and I made one of these bad jokes myself as well. But
let's hear it. This is gonna be good.
Well, there were such and such in the episode, but at the end of the night, Stannis got the sickest burn.
Boo! Boo! X. Boo!
That was quoting a friend of mine, not me. All I said was that, well, at least somebody in the north is warm now.
Oh. That's bad. That is so fucking bad.
But let's talk about some of the other parts of this episode. We never got much of Jon Snow, just him arriving back at the Wall and the wildlings.
Actually, that's good. That's a good point. Even though the former... was he the former Night Watch guard?
He wasn't the Lord Commander. He was just one of the top ranking ones, yeah.
Even though last episode he was being a dick to Sam, and, constantly voicing his opinion about the wildlings, he manned up and did the right thing.
Yep.
He opened the gates and let him through without incident.
Yep.
Yeah, that's his, his character may be an asshole, but at least he has honor. And not the fake, the fake honor a lot of the other quote-unquote knights have been using there.
Yeah, that's for sure. Not many were happy to see John, though.
No, especially his little stable boy.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, I'm just expecting him to just try to kill Jon Snow in his sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, that look.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, after everyone's like, no, you don't understand. Yes, this is what they did was bad, but at the same time, what's going to happen to them is worse.
Mm-hmm.
And, as, being the good guys, we can't allow that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, John at the moment is one of the very few characters left on the show that has, like, real honor and compassion for people.
Yeah. It's, I'm interested to see what's going to happen next week for the finale.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For the season finale.
Yeah, technically tomorrow night by the time this recording goes up. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them probably, or if that's the last we see of them right now for the show.
It'd be an interesting place to cut off.
Mm-hmm. Well, they kind of did it last season with Daenerys, so.
True. Oh, and meanwhile, much farther south and in another country, someone had a meeting with the king, and someone got put in their fucking place like they should have been.
Yeah. Even though I have to admit, the Dorne stuff kind of bored me that episode. It was just there, I guess, to lighten things up a little bit.
It needed it. It really needed it, because I don't remember the progression of the story, but I think that was before the finale.
Yeah, I think that was after the Stannis part, wasn't
it? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And it kind of needed it, because, it had some humor in it, and, it's kind of the crippled king kind of re-establishing. It's like, no, I am the fucking king. You do this shit again, I will fucking kill you. I mean, I do feel bad for her. Especially after Martell was killed. I mean, the way he died was horrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a duel. And she is choosing to ignore that and willing to put their nations at war to get revenge. A petty revenge at that.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's got her niece... Are they her nieces or her daughters?
I think nieces. I'm pretty sure.
All right, yeah. And the fact that she had her nieces willing to do the same thing is saying something. But just the fact that, the king was like, no. You don't fucking understand. I've seen war. Never again.
Yeah. He's another character on the show that appears to be, that has common sense about him.
Yeah, he doesn't... I mean, things are good for his people right now. Why would he do anything to jeopardize that?
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, he said it best, it's like, my brother is dead. I mourn for his loss, but it was a duel. He knew what he was getting into.
Yeah.
And like we pointed out several times, if he just would have fucking stabbed the mountain, boom, it would have been done. But no. He had to hear that confession.
Yep. Let's see, what else? We had a little bit more with Arya and her arc. She got a little bit of a distraction.
A little bit. By the way, fuck that guy too. Young guy. Too old.
Yeah, he's always been an asshole on the show, and she has good reason to kill him too. Right, you haven't seen like the first 2 seasons, have you?
Tell me, why does she want him dead? Besides the obvious.
Okay, well, he was the one who killed her sword teacher in the first season.
Okay.
So that's like the main reason.
That's a big thing right there. He definitely left. Her teacher left a huge impression on her.
Yep. So yeah, that's the main reason why she wants him dead. Other reasons why he's an asshole. I believe it was season 2 at some point, with Sansa. She gets knocked to the ground at some point within that. And he's actually one that ends up punching her. So, yeah, he's a despicable son of a bitch. And if you notice, the girl that he chooses at the brothel, who does she look like?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. So now, Arya has...
You know, it's bad when your own men are looking at you like,
Yeah.
sir, is there something we need to know about you? Oh, I can't wait for him to get his comeuppance.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing about this show. When the bad guy gets their comeuppance, it is fucking marvelous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, remember Joffrey?
Yep.
Whew, people hated him. And boy, did he get it.
Yep. And, well, with Arya right now, she's slowly started to realize throughout the course of her journey, most people that she's wanted to kill have been killed by other people. So it's like, here's a chance to actually take somebody off the list herself.
Herself, yeah.
So, yeah.
And of course, I'm still on the boat that the Hound's still alive. Simply because we didn't see him die.
Yep.
If it didn't happen on camera, it didn't happen. First rule of cinema.
Yep. So yeah, there we go. We have her with that now. I was talking with a friend. And he was telling me some of the differences that came from the book.
That's another thing. This whole season has not happened.
A lot of it hasn't, no. Or there has been differences. The whole part where we were talking about Shireen getting burned alive. It's been said that George R.R. Martin told them that was going to happen at some point in the book. But in the books, Stannis isn't with her at the moment. Like, her mother and Melisandre, they're all still back at Castle Black at the moment, so yeah, they're separated in the book right now, so
oh shit.
Yeah, so who knows how it's going to happen there. The one that I was going to refer to with Arya is with her training, it was a bit more intense in the book. According to my friend, she has to go out every day, do her thing, and when she comes back, she has to answer 3 questions, basically saying 3 things that she learned each day. And apparently, throughout the course of this, she's doing a lot of her work blinded, because they blind her, apparently. But she would see this cat every day, going and doing her thing. And apparently, she wargs into this cat at one point, and watches as, well, every day, she would get attacked while she's cleaning, and where she's blind, she can't see, and somebody beats her, basically. So one day, she wargs into this cat and watches, well, her teacher beat her, basically, and one day, she's asked the questions, what has she learned? She replies, I know you're the one that's beating me. And to put things simple, as my friend told me, the guy asked her, how did you know that? And she replies, you only get 3 questions per day, bitch. We all have our secrets.
See, that's interesting because, from what I understand, only a very few people can actually do that.
Yeah. So as in the show right now, the only Stark we know that can do this is Bronn. So maybe she'll get this ability too at some point in the TV show.
Maybe. I mean, hell, for what she's becoming, that'd help her immensely.
So yeah, it's interesting with her. So not to waste too much more time, let's, because we've been going for a while.
Yeah, okay. We'll do that.
Yeah, let's talk about the final scene, of course, in the show. The Colosseum, the fights.
That's money was put into that scene.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not since Gladiator has a Coliseum looked that good.
Mm-hmm. So
And it looked fucking beautiful.
oh, yes, it did. So yeah, it started off fairly simply with, fights the strong versus the quick. And I love the back and forth talk between the three of them here, especially with Tyrion, who is basically like on par with Daenerys here, and you can see like a connection building stronger between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with him like seeing enough bloodshed firsthand in his life that this is pretty, bad now.
Yeah. And plus, there was another thing that they did during that scene, which made me appreciate it even more, was they were showing just how bloodthirsty the crowd is.
Yeah. Makes you wonder now how much Daenerys actually wants to stay and protect them anymore.
Yeah. Well, especially what happens in a few minutes, but we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm. And then the big thing, Jorah appears again. He managed to get to the big Coliseum fight. And Daenerys...
Captain Friendzone.
Yeah. And Daenerys, you can see on her face she has mixed reactions to this. She doesn't want to clap to begin with. She still has feelings for him, even though she hated him for what he did. It kind of sees like she's understood what Tyrion told her the last episode.
Yeah, it's sinking in, and plus the fact he keeps risking his life just to see her again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and every time like he was about to get killed in the fights, which I appreciate, it shows that he's not, one of these miracle swordsmen. He got lucky a lot.
Yeah, he did. I mean, there's a huge difference between, battlefield combat and a good practical one-on-one duel, which that was.
Mm-hmm.
And plus he's older. He's like, his character's what, 49?
I would say, yeah, in that area.
And in that day and age, that's fucking unheard of.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she was clenching up every time he was almost about to die. And
there was a few moments I thought it was going to happen too.
Yeah, and then you have that final little scene with him where he throws the spear. They clench up because they think, oh shit, he's going to kill her. Nope, he's killing one of the harpies.
Oh, ambush!
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucking ambush, and they were everywhere.
Oh, yes, they were.
There's one thing I want to point out. In the scene, you see them, they're dressed as masters. They're dressed as slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's both sides coming together to kill the queen.
Yep. And we get our little Phantom Menace scene with them being surrounded. And...
Oh, honestly, that was the one scene I had a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
With all these quote-unquote elite guards that she has, they were getting killed very easily.
Yeah. The Matt Fowler over on IGN in his review pointed that out. It was like, kind of looks like she got a deal getting them in bulk now.
Yeah. I mean, you look at them, they don't look like warriors. They're all kind of skinny and pale looking. Mm-hmm. Even though, majority of them are olive-skinned and dark-skinned, they just look unhealthy.
Yeah.
They look like vegans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to piss off this week. Vegans. No, I actually have vegan friends. I can't say shit. But you know what I mean? It's like, wait, this is a warrior?
Mm-hmm.
And plus the fact, they fight their way down into the pit. They're in the center of the Coliseum, and her soldiers get around her, but they don't form a phalanx.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fucking medieval combat 101.
Yeah.
You fill in the gaps so no one can get through.
Mm-hmm.
And just they didn't come off as very bright.
No. And well, then you see they're almost like Daenerys was about to accept what was about to happen.
Yeah.
You had the little Toy Story moment where they hold hands.
It was pretty bleak.
Mm-hmm. And she closes her eyes, and then motherfucking dragon.
Motherfucking, what is it? Drogon,
Drogon,
yeah. And I swear to God, you should have just hit the fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin music. His motherfucker dragon had pyros going off.
Mm-hmm.
Came flying in. And, oh, my God.
Yep.
That brought a huge smile to my face.
Yep, the angsty teenager made his appearance.
Yep, to save Mama.
Mm-hmm.
And God, CG is it's blockbuster level.
Yep, the Drogon looked incredible in that scene.
And just the interactions, there was a few little hiccups, animation hiccups here and there, only when he was attacking the other people.
Yeah.
But still, for TV, that was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, why weren't the other people running away? Seriously, they were standing there, Dragon is just, blow-torching motherfuckers left and right, eating people, ripping them in half, and they're like, oh, that's a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Hand me a spear. He's coming right for me. Hand me another spear.
Well, I guess at that point they were all in.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. It was all in. It's like, okay, this is our last chance. If we don't get her now.
Mm-hmm. Which, when you think about it, it's like, well, you have these spears and you're throwing them at the dragon. Just turn and throw one at her.
Like I said, not the most tactical geniuses.
No, on either side.
It's like last season when, she was marching towards the city. It's like, well, how do we deter her from coming? I know. She's against slavery, right? Yeah. We'll kill a slave and put their body as a marker every few months. Start with the children. That just wasn't smart. That wasn't smart at all.
No, it was not. I will say, one thing that did look cheesy to me, though, is when she got on the back of Drogon and had her little never-ending story moment.
Yeah, that wasn't the best integration.
Mm-hmm. Still fucking cool, though.
Oh, still fucking cool. The fact that he let her do that.
Mm-hmm.
And understood her command.
Yep.
Which is crazy because if you think about it, he sensed that she was in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
The other two must have been in the catacombs going just fucking batshit trying to get out.
Yep.
Because she's got the connection with all three of them.
Yep.
So it was really cool, but kind of frustrating at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice watching what's-his-face get stabbed in the fucking chest like a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, we must bring back the fights. They want tradition and the fights and the fights. Oh, you have to show there. You have to be there. You have to watch this.
I'm surprised he got killed, though. I was expecting him to be, behind all of this.
And they probably saw him as a traitor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because honestly, she was like, okay, fine, I'll marry you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you'll be king.
Yep.
And they were like, what? He sold out the other house members and now he's king? Fuck this guy.
Yep. And just one last thing to point out about that scene. I love the look on Tyrion's face when he saw Drogon and what happened afterwards.
Yeah, you could see it in his eyes. I was like, she's the one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Holy shit, she's the one.
Yeah, it's hard to be doubtful when you see a woman riding on the back of a fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah. Like, I know a few episodes before when he actually saw Drogon flying in the air, he was like, just the look on his face then, it's like, holy shit, that's a dragon. That is a real-life dragon.
Yeah. Part of me is really, really hoping that they do a gag reel for this season when they put out the Blu-ray and DVD.
Oh,
and they just have a little cutscene right at the end of that where Tyrion's looking up and just goes, she's not coming back, is she?
Oh, that's gonna be funny. That'd be hilarious. Like, well, shit, she's not coming back, is she? Dibs. But all in all, it was a good episode.
Yep. Really?
A lot of emotions in that episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both sides of the spectrum, that's for damn sure.
And oh my god, I'm scared of what might happen. This, tomorrow. I'm a little afraid.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got their big innocent death out of the way, as per usual with an episode 9.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? It's probably going to be massive. I hope they end better than they did last season. I really do. Last season was kind of a disappointment for the final scene. It was just Arya on the boat sailing out. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, I see your point with that one. I mean, everything up to that point was, just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a little, like,
Yeah, a bit anticlimactic, to be honest. And IGN, their little Game of Thrones podcast that they've been doing, Dragons on the Wall, they made a good point, too. It's kind of like the show is pushing forward a lot more than the books right now. It does seem like they know they only have like a couple of seasons left, perhaps, for the TV show, and they want to wrap things up. That's what it felt like, anyway.
Exactly. I mean, he's doing, what, one more book, and that's going to be it?
2 more, I think.
If he lives that long, because he's so old.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing about that. He's old. He could die at any second.
But anyways,
yeah,
fantastic episode. Looking forward to the season finale. Yep. And we better dive into our news stories.
Yes, we better.
So, James, you have our first news story, one that you brought to my attention, and something that has been rumored before, but...
Yes, thanks to our friends over at Aggressive Comics. Marvel's Netflix Phase 2 could include some awesome.
Oh?
Even more awesome than Daredevil and Jessica Jones, a.k.a. Jessica Jones.
It's just Jessica Jones now. They shortened it again.
Oh, fuck! I quit. How can I work like that? No. According to Heroic Hollywood, we have some details that could be Phase 2 of Marvel's Netflix series. According to this report, the studio wants to bring in darker characters like Punisher, Blade, and Ghost Rider, also known as the Marvel Knights series.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And according to the actual site itself, not only are they darker and more violent, but 2 of them require supernatural elements in order to tell their stories. The inclusion of these characters could send Netflix over to the goofy side, which is something they're very afraid of. Ghost Rider would also have to rely on CGI too much for the studio's taste. It would also be difficult to incorporate the stories into these characters smoothly. No. Blade and Punisher are perceived rather one note and carry a series on and can carry a series. One note to carry a series on their own. Wrong. The heavy violence is also perceived to be a risk. They want a hard PG-13 instead of an R. And since none of the Defenders actually kill, throwing Punisher into the mix could be a challenge. Okay, my problem with that is, how many people got killed in last season, in the first season of Daredevil?
Yeah.
I remember one scene in particular where a dude put his head through a fucking spike.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget about Wilson Fisk with a car door.
Yeah. And they're worried about the Punisher killing people?
Yep. Yeah, I really don't like what they say they're either a bit one-note characters. I mean, both Blade and Punisher have had amazing stories in the comics.
Yeah, but trying to bring that out, and there's a big difference between comics where you have like decades of lore to build up.
That is true.
I mean, I think that's always been kind of the problem with the Punisher movies.
Mm.
It's like, yes, it's simple, but it's also very complex at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Blade. Oh, he's half vampire, half human. Well, why is he half vampire, half human?
Mm-hmm.
People that read the books know why.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think, the last Punisher movie actually did well with showing how good of a character the Punisher was.
Yeah, especially with a good actor. I mean, nothing against Thomas Jane, but he didn't sell the Punisher.
No. And for those that want to watch something that really shows how great the Punisher can be, go watch Avengers Confidential, Punisher and Black Widow. That movie is like perfection when it comes to showing who the Punisher is.
Yeah. Definitely. I full-heartedly agree.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I will agree with them a bit here, and that is with Ghost Rider and relying on CGI a lot, because I can see that and understand that. However, they can go the route of, having him as Johnny Blazes most of the time, and once every few episodes build it up to the point where he has to turn into the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, and not like Nicolas Cage in Ghost Rider 2.
Oh, God, no. He's not knocking on the door.
Knocking on the door! God, that was awful. But, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if they actually build up to the Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can still do Ghost Rider stuff, not in full Ghost Rider mode.
Exactly, yeah.
But, because, he's a spirit of vengeance. He needs that push. Mm-hmm. And it'd have to be something really bad for him to go all completely 100% flaming.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what characters they put him in there against, there's a lot of characters that could drive him to that point.
Yep.
Especially if you do another 13-episode season like they did with Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great build-up because, he's trying to take care of these problems in human form, trying not to rely on, these dark powers that are within him. But then finally he just snaps.
Mm.
And then for like an episode or two, you could just have Ghost Rider just going around, just fucking everything up.
Yeah.
And the rest of the season is him trying to deal with the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's like, yes, he's a hero, but he's a really violent hero.
Yeah. All right. So let's move into our next news story, which is connected to this previous one.
Yes.
And this made me incredibly happy, like over the hill, extremely happy. And that is that John Bernthal, also known as Shane from The Walking Dead, and other roles which I forget at the moment, has been cast as Frank Castle, the Punisher, in the Netflix original series, Marvel's Daredevil Season 2. So we are getting the Punisher.
Which kind of negates what that idiot was saying in the last story.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if we're going to have the Punisher. Boom! Punisher.
Yep. So, just reading the article here from Marvel. Yada, yada, yada. He's joining the Punisher. Bertho will portray the Punisher. They even say, some people thought beginning like, oh, Frank Castle, maybe he's going to start off as a cop in the show and whatnot. No, he's going to be the Punisher, one of Marvel's most popular characters. He is a vigilante who aims to clean up New York City's Hell's Kitchen by any means necessary, no matter how lethal the results.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw... Okay, that must be the thing. I thought I saw something else there. Oh, here it is, yeah. Jeff Loeb, Marvel's head of television, said Castle's appearance will bring dramatic changes to the world of Matt Murdock, and nothing will be the same.
I just hope they give him a costume.
Yep.
Or at least, the skull. The skull has to be there.
Mm-hmm. This is the way I see it. Episode 1, we're back to Daredevil again. He's, doing his thing. He's cleaning up the city. All things go well. And, something happens, right at the end of the episode, there's like, oh, this incident happened. This murder occurred. Such and such criminals are dead. Okay, we move into the next episode. Daredevil's probably taking on, a minor villain. Maybe we have the appearance of Stilt Man finally in the season.
Oh, God.
bear with me. We go through this episode. Everything's going, normal. We get these, reports on TV about other criminals, showing up dead and murdered and whatnot. Nothing really comes about it. Final scene of this episode, we kind of have our Kingpin-like moment. Dark alleyway. You have these criminals maybe beating somebody up or about to murder somebody. Gunshots go off. One dies. The other one looks out. Dark alleyway. You kind of see a figure of a person there. This person, yells, screams like, what the fuck, and whatnot. This criminal dies. Got the figure in the shadows just pulls up a gun and shoots him dead on. Nothing. No word said. And say this person that they were beating up, starts to get up, shaking, looking at this figure. The figure steps forward a little bit. You still don't see his face or anything like that. But light shines on his chest and you see the skull. Boom, episode ends.
Oh, that would be pretty fucking good. I'd mark out pretty big for that. I'm not gonna lie.
But that's the thing. I have confidence that they're going to build up the Punisher like they did with Kingpin in the series. You don't see him for a couple of episodes,
but you hear about him.
Yeah, you hear about him.
That's gonna be pretty awesome. That's gonna be pretty fucking awesome.
So yeah, personally, I'm over the top excited. The Punisher is my favorite comic book character of all time in any comic series, genre, whatnot. So, and I'm happy that Marvel is finally using him themselves.
Yeah, I mean they've had him back for a few years now, and besides the quote unquote rumored cameo in Winter Soldier, but that's still not confirmed yet.
No. I think that was mostly just the Russos having a bit of fun anyway.
Yeah.
And just making up an excuse why they had to use the same truck twice.
Oh, it was a good cover. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be good and interesting to see how Marvel actually uses him, because just like the other characters we've seen, I'm sure they're going to use him perfectly well.
Yeah. And I just can't wait to see. I mean, the actor is a damn good actor.
Yeah. Like we were talking about before we started recording, he looks like the Punisher.
Yeah, there was one picture I saw. They actually have just like a random Punisher issue cover and a picture of him side by side, and it's like, yeah, that's him. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be so good.
So very good indeed. And we took this story out, but there was also rumors to begin with that Marvel might have been courting Jason Statham to play Bullseye, but apparently those rumors have been squashed.
By Statham himself. The only Bullseye he can be is a douchebag Bullseye.
Apparently, yeah. You can look that up, folks, if you want, or go listen to, I think it was Keeping It Real over on IGN. They spoke about it, so it's on a podcast somewhere. Go check whatever podcast that was.
Yeah.
So.
And now, from the highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows. We had some good news, now we got to have some bad news just to even out.
Mm-hmm.
It is official, folks. There will be no season 2 of Constantine. Constantine EP executive producer Daniel Caron has come forward with an official statement about the series, and it's not good. On Twitter, Cronin broke the news and showed over that the show was over and thanked the fans for their continued support. Here's what he wrote. I promised I'd share the news when I had it. Sadly, that news is not good. The cast and writers of Constantine are being released of their contracts. The studio tried to find a new home for the show, for which we're forever grateful, but those efforts didn't pan out. I'm sorry. I wasn't provided any information on the attempts to sell the show elsewhere. All I can report is that the show is over.
This is really sad.
Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, I never watched the show because it was on NBC, so I could never find it. But it's, from what I've seen, they were following the book. They had an actor like the character. He was actually blonde in English and not Keanu Reeves. And it's just, it's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched the series. I absolutely loved that they did so well. They ended on a fucking cliffhanger as well, so that's
Of course.
really annoying, yeah. But yeah, the 13 episodes that they put out were incredible. And like the first one, I can see where some people were, you know, kind of iffy onto it. It had its moments, but it was kind of eh. But episode 2 and moving forward, it was so good. So good! They had like little connections to other parts of the DC universe in there as well. The Spectre appeared in his, before he became the Spectre, you know, kind of state. The helmet of
Dr. Fate.
Yeah, the helmet of Dr. Fate was in the first episode. And it wasn't just like, you know, just walking by a scene, it was there. The fucking chick in the first episode picked it up and like showed it to the camera.
But yeah, they killed it.
Yeah. My only hope right now is that somehow, some way, they actually bring the character into Arrow. Like, just get the same actor who played him and bring him over. Maybe they don't have to connect it to the Constantine TV series, but, you know, have him still exist in their universe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hell, the actor that plays Quinn was even like, hey, I will guest star on this fucking show if you don't cancel it.
Yeah. I think Grant Gustin said that as well.
And they canceled it. But hey, Gotham's got another season.
Yeah.
This one's going to revolve around the Joker.
Let's move on to something better, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Okay.
Actually, speaking of revolving and cameos. Oh, wait, wrong story.
We finally have a director for Aquaman, and apparently the Robotech movies. And that man is going to be James Wan, the director behind the amazingly, incredibly successful Furious 7, has struck a deal with Warner Brothers to direct Aquaman. So prepare for car chases underwater, folks. Or seahorse races underwater.
No,
I don't know. Quoting IGN here.
No horse can handle him.
According to the IGN article here by Alex Osborne. However, that's not the only film that's been added to Wan's plate, as according to The Hollywood Reporter, he has also locked in a deal with Sony Pictures Entertainment to direct the hit 1980s mecha anime Robotech. And apparently Wan is still also directing The Conjuring 2 for Warner Brothers. So yeah, what do we think of James Wan doing the Aquaman movie?
Number one, I'm glad they actually have an action director to do the movie. I mean, nothing against other directors. It's just, if you want a high-octane action movie, you need someone that's familiar with, you know, practical stunts, CGI stunts, you know, just, action pacing for a movie. And, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Furious movies, but the action's good. The pacing is, has been better.
Yeah.
And, I can see him doing a good job with Aquaman.
Yeah. I could see that too. I mean, like yourself, I've only seen the first Fast and Furious. Holy shit, I just realized something here.
What's that?
Furious 7. It's $8 million away from... Or is it 8 million? Yeah, 8 million away from passing The Avengers for the third overall spot movie of all time worldwide.
Wow.
It has made $1.5 billion.
Jeez, yeah, I can see why they wanted him on that.
Yeah, there you go. And from what I know about Furious 7 2, aside from all the high action, it was good for the story element as well, from what I heard. So yeah, maybe he can actually, do a good Aquaman movie.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard.
No.
To just put Jason Momoa on screen and the women will come flocking.
Mm-hmm. Or, come swimming.
Swimming? Well, there's definitely going to be some wet floor signs in the theater, that's for sure.
Oh. So yeah, Aquaman is set for release in 2018 with Deborah and Zack Snyder producing. And yeah, Jason Momoa, as you said, he's the protagonist. So there you go.
Yeah, plus there's his cameo in Dawn of Justice, too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. Which some people are maybe questioning now, according to the recent, the story synopsis for Batman v Superman. Maybe he's playing one of the main villains in the movie? Maybe? I'll see if I can find the story here at the moment as we go through. But yeah, it was something along the lines of Batman and Superman go to war with one another, but then somebody arises and they have to take them on. Arises kind of assumes, coming out of the water, perhaps?
I mean, it would make sense that, with Superman and Batman fighting each other, that they would need someone to break up the fight, so...
Mm-hmm.
Aquaman shows up as, I saw what you did to your city. You ain't doing that to my city. And Wonder Woman would show up, just be like, hey, mortals, knock it the fuck off.
Yep, I can't seem to find it here now anyways. But yeah, it's something like that. So who knows? Maybe he is playing the bad guy in the movie after all. Or one of the bad guys, perhaps.
Misguided, maybe, bad guy?
Yeah, there you go. Everybody was misguided in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, now I know what podcast that was. That was the... watched it last night, actually. The Kevin Smith podcast, Fat Man on Batman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were talking about it, so yeah, maybe that's it. But anyways, let's go into our final news story before we drag on the folks too much here today.
Yeah,
James.
That's the one that I was kind of alluding to when I realized I skipped the story. It's been official. Chris Hemsworth will be joining the Ghostbusters remake. The all-female one. Thor is going to be their receptionist.
I love that casting, actually.
Yes, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Because the moment I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, a bunch of women hire Thor to be Chris Hemsworth. And of course, that didn't help that I just recently saw the trailer for the new Vacation movie, co-starring Chris Hemsworth walking around in some very tight shorts.
Very, very tight.
Very tight. I didn't know he was Jewish. But yeah, he's going to be taking up the part of, for the all-female Ghostbusters, not the all-male one, as their receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
Which apparently he's more than okay with.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he wants to get out of the stigma that he can only play big action guys like Thor.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense since, he just did the Vacation movie, as we just mentioned, and, it's a very comedic movie.
Yep.
And his character is, from what I saw in the trailer, is way over the top.
Yep.
And plus, let's not forget when he was hosting Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah, that was great, too.
He was having fun doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Ghostbusters. I'm sorry, I don't understand why they're making two Ghostbusters movies in the same year,
Yeah.
especially when it's going to be two completely separate stories.
hmm Maybe they'll bridge them somehow.
Oh, I know, so they could have their
Extend the universe.
universe.
Then they'll, include 22 Jump Street in there and Men in Black as well.
Oh, at this point, it's going to be 24 Jump Street,
hmm
so it'll be 50 Jump Street.
All right. So with that out of the way, the news is done. So it is time to move into our topic of the week.
Bum, bum, bum.
And I really couldn't think of anything this week, so folks, we're going to let you know a little bit more about us. And that is, we're going to go over some of our favorite all-time movies. Just to mention the Glitched Out podcast over there, myself and Izzy, we talked about some of our favorite games of all time. So I thought, just to make Static Screen a little bit similar this week, we're going to talk about our favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
And I'm sure both of us have, a long-ass list here.
a long list, but I'm going to try to keep mine short.
Okay. I'll do the same.
All right, so do you want to take turns? You say a movie, then I'll say a movie, and
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go first then.
Well, yeah, it's your podcast, man. I'm just freeloading off you at this point.
All right, well, I'll begin with probably my favorite movie of all time. And I'll probably get a little bit laughed at for this one, but it's actually a movie I can go back to and watch again and again and again. And I actually have watched this movie when it's come on cable. It would end and it would start again, on some network TVs they do that. And I've watched it twice back to back in a row like that. Just showing how much I love this movie. And that's Forrest Gump. I absolutely love that movie so much.
That is a very good movie.
It's such a good mix of drama, comedy, a bit of action into it.
Mm-hmm.
Just telling this wonderful story over a course of so many years. It's just good. It's a classic movie.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the overall message of the movie that this simple man, this, quote unquote retard, can affect the world as much as he has.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's one from me.
Since you mentioned a drama, technically the movie is a drama. One of my favorite dramas of all time, I would have to say, is Titanic. James Cameron's Titanic. It is a...
I'm actually really surprised that you say that one.
Yeah, believe it or not, I actually have taste in good movies. I don't watch crap all the time. But no, at first, when it first came out, I didn't want to see it, but, I was dating this girl. She wanted to go see it, so we went and saw it. And I enjoyed the movie greatly. Mm-hmm. I mean, even to this day, I kind of feel a little upset at myself for laughing at Titanic jokes. It's like, oh shit, that's not funny, because it was that one scene in the beginning of the movie where the one scientist is like, oh yeah, it hit the iceberg, and then this happened, and snap, and then that, and then, saying that to a survivor. Mm-hmm. She's just sitting there like, huh? Yeah, okay. You're an asshole. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it had some funny moments, but yeah, it was a romance too. It had a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. It just overall, very well made movie, a very entertaining movie, a very good movie. Mm-hmm. So that's my drama.
All right, let's see. Go through my list here. What to mention next? Let's go with a classic animated feature. One that gets overlooked a lot, but is incredible in every way. The Iron Giant.
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah, that it's up there. It's like it wasn't made by Disney or anything like that, but it's such a good period piece film.
Hmm.
It's a good kind of coming of age film, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, you could say that. He's overcomes, a lot of his shortcomings and his family's shortcomings.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, such an incredible movie of friendship and whatnot, and yeah, I love that movie so much. It's so good. And there's been talks recently that maybe they'll do a limited re-release in theaters at some
Oh,
point
wow,
soon.
that's cool.
Yeah, like,
And,
boom, there, I am there for
and
that.
let's not forget Vin Diesel as the voice of the Giant.
Yeah! Which, when, he was casted in Guardians of the Galaxy a couple years ago now, people were like, Vin Diesel is, like, playing a Groot, just saying 3 words? I was like, yeah, that's awesome! Did you not see the Iron Giant?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's a great
Man,
example. Each line, you could tell what he was trying to get across just by the way he was saying, I am Groot.
yep. And the same thing was in this movie. Like, for an animated character, for a giant robot, he portrayed such amazing emotion in that movie through his voice and through the animation alone from that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how such an underrated actor Vin Diesel actually is.
Mm-hmm.
You do Triple X and then everyone just thinks you're a dumb meathead.
Yep.
Oh, animated movie. Well, this was going to be a shocker for you. Grave of the Fireflies, Japanese anime classic.
Okay.
A Studio Ghibli original. A very sad and depressing movie
Mm-hmm.
where everybody dies. It takes place after the U.S. bombing of Hiroshima.
Oh, okay.
The story focuses around a young teenage boy and his little sister,
Mm-hmm.
and them just trying to make it after the bomb dropped.
Oh.
And it's, like I said, it's a hard movie to watch because there's so many fucking feels in it. But it is so good at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it's sad, but it gets its point across.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting a face on the people that had no face.
Yeah.
Because you hear about the bombings and it's like, oh, that's horrible, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie portrayed, because the original story was actually written by a bomb survivor.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't die. They took some liberties with the story,
Yeah.
but they just pushed that point even further. It's like, yeah, he died. Meanwhile, the author's over here like, wait, I didn't die. That's not what happened. But no, seriously, sit down, watch it, have the tissues, because you will need them.
Fair enough. All right, let's see. Go through my list here again. I'm going to cheat here and actually mention 4 movies because they kind of fall under the same banner.
Uh-oh.
Another one, like, in my top 3. 2 of these are in my top 3. The first of which, The Avengers, when that came out. It was the first movie I actually saw 7 times in the theater. Simply because, it was that amazing. It was that incredible to see all of these, like, characters I grew up with and had been seeing for the past several years standing alone in their own movies come together. It was a special moment in cinema. It showed that this could work, that they actually succeeded in doing this. So that's one, The Avengers, just so good. And I think I've watched that movie once a month ever since it came out back in 2012. So the next one to that, of course, is last year's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Just to go with this movie from when it was announced to when it came out. When it was announced, I actually cried because I was so happy. I never thought Marvel would use those characters. I had, read most of the comics with them into it. I had really, really loved those characters so much, and just to know that they were going to get portrayed on screen was so happy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Then just like going forward from that, they got Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. Awesome casting. They got James Gunn, who is so crazy and eccentric that was like perfect director for it. I'm even more excited. Then they had Bradley Cooper for Rocket Raccoon, who, if I hadn't seen the A-Team, I wouldn't have been excited for that. But I was excited for after that casting. Then they got Vin Diesel for Groot, which, like I just said, for the Iron Giant, that made me happy. Then the movie came out, and it just starts off with the most depressing, sad scene in, like, any Marvel movie to date. Like, oh man, if you didn't cry at that, there was something wrong.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Then they move into probably the most fun section of a movie you've ever seen in the Marvel Universe. It just set the tone for what the movie was going to be, and it was just, that movie's just filled with so much joy and excitement. On the flip side, though, so much emotions. Like, I cannot watch the bar scene with Drax and Rocket Raccoon without crying. Like, when Rocket goes into his little speech about just showing how tortured of a character he really is. Oh, that just, like, tugs at my heartstring every time I see it. And then, of course, you have Groot's sacrifice later on. So, like, when he says, "We are Groot," it's like, oh! That just, it gets me every time. And then you have the final boss scene where they just, like, throw conventions out of the window, where Star-Lord does a dance contest. It's like, that's perfect. So yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy, I could talk for hours on end about that movie, but it's up there in my top 3 movies of all time. I saw that one 7 times in theaters. In a row, actually. I saw it 5 times in IMAX. With the Avengers, I saw it 6 times while it was out, and 1 re-release that they did.
Damn.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I probably would have seen Guardians a few more times if I had the chance. And the other 2 I'll mention briefly, I believe these are the best 2 standalone character movies that Marvel has done. Captain America, The First Avenger, and Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Those 2 are perfect, in my opinion. I know some people have complaints about the first Captain America. I thought it was spot on. It showed everything you needed to know who Captain America was, what he's fighting for, and, it set him up for the future movies, dealing with, being the man out of time, which the Winter Soldier perfectly portrayed. And for the Winter Soldier, I mean, they tore down S.H.I.E.L.D. in the perfect way. The Winter Soldier himself was the perfect, most badass villain they have ever had. So yeah, those 2 are like stand out perfect for me.
Definitely. Oh man, I would have to say, I don't have an overall perfect movie. Because there's so many that just cover so many different genres. Like, I'd have to say the one that is perfect in one genre for me, and that's the action genre, is The Raid Part 2.
Okay.
Simply because, now keep in mind, I haven't seen Mad Max Fury Road yet. And The Raid Part 2 is pretty much just like, pacing-wise, just like Fury Road.
Okay.
It is go, 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 go. Catch your breath, catch your breath, catch your breath. Go, 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 go. I mean, like I said, there's a scene at the end where the main character and, the underboss get into this knife fight in a kitchen, and it is one of the most brutal knife fights. I mean, it's nothing, I've seen better choreography in Jackie Chan movies and jet movies, but this choreographing was, it was brutal and realistic,
Mm-hmm.
which just, God, that movie is so good, and you need to see it.
It's on the list.
Stop making excuses. Hannibal will always be there. This is not.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that's the closest thing to a quote-unquote perfect movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's, like I said, that's a perfect action movie.
Okay. Let's see, what else do I have on my list here? You know, since you mentioned the Raid, an action movie, I'll mention one of my favorite action movies of all time. Right from the 1980s, Mr. Bruce Willis himself, Die Hard. The perfect action movie, the perfect Christmas movie.
Yeah. That's a multi-genre movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's an action movie, but come on.
Mm-hmm. I'll admit, I was fairly late until I saw Die Hard. It must have been only, was at my last place, so maybe 3 years ago I finally decided to watch it.
Well, that's a good thing because Die Hard is one of those movies you kind of have to watch when you understand movies.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I was blown away, and it instantly became one of my favorites. It's just so good with the action, the comedy. Yeah, it's just good overall. It defined the action genre, I can see.
It did. It was definitely a 80s, late 80s, early 90s action movie.
Mm-hmm. What followed wasn't so great, but not in the Die Hard series. But
yeah, but the Die Hard, it had its moments.
Yeah.
But oh man, for me the best action comedy I would have to say for me,
Mm-hmm.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That movie, I've seen it so many times. Like I'm looking at the DVD. I bought it on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hunted through Walmart bins to find this motherfucker. And I have seen it so many times. I've watched it with my dad. I've watched it with my daughter. I've watched it with my friends. I've watched it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a good movie. You always end up like quoting it when you're not really thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like every time when I would see a movie and they mentioned The Chosen One,
Mm-hmm.
In my head I just hear, "I'm coming, Chosen, I'm coming," as he's running across the fucking. But yeah, it always makes me laugh. The jokes never get old.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the perfect action comedy for me.
Okay, good. If we're going to go the route of quotable movies, there's one that really does come to my mind as one of my favorites, and it's on my list that I did up here. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So good. And last year I was really happy, around October, they actually put it out in theaters for its 30th anniversary. So I finally managed to get to see it in a theater, and it was even better seeing it that way.
Some movies should only be seen in theaters.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a movie that I grew up with. My brothers introduced it to me when I was really young, and I fell in love back then, and it's stuck with me like over the years. And yeah, it's just so quotable.
So many good movies.
Mm-hmm. So many. I mean, we could ramble on here for hours.
Hours. But we're kind of pushing 2 hours.
Yeah. So we should wrap up here. I will mention one more, and I believe you have this on your list as well. Silence of the Lambs.
Oh God, best thriller ever.
Mm-hmm. By far.
Yeah, because it's like we were talking about Hannibal earlier. You don't know where his loyalties lie.
Mm-hmm.
That movie was perfect about that.
Yep.
Is he helping the cop just because he wants that? Is he helping, Starling just because he wants out, or is he helping her for other reasons?
Mm-hmm.
how much does he know about this killer? Is he making shit up? Oh shit, how crazy is this guy? Oh shit, he's crazy. The term batshit, no, that's not, batshit insane doesn't cover this. He's nuttier than squirrel shit, okay?
That's one way to sum up Hannibal.
Yeah, great fucking movie, though.
Mm-hmm. All right. So with that, we have our questions and comments. No questions this week, but looking at the comments section, noticed that Izzy actually left a couple of comments on last week's episode.
Whoa!
One, I don't know where he took this one out of, but he says, the giant is, dun dun dun, the great Kali, LOL. Not sure where he got that one from what we talked about, but...
I don't remember talking about giants.
Yeah, I don't either, so that one took me off guard. And the other comment he left was a direct reference to our Elimination Chamber talk, and that was, "Urrah, urrah, urrah," Titus O'Neil voice.
Oh, now, we mentioned the giant walk at the meeting, fighting the undead.
Right.
Great Khali wishes he can move like that. Took me a moment. It's like, we didn't talk about... Oh, wait, we did! Game of Thrones! Always with the Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I didn't think he... No, he skipped over the Game of Thrones talk.
He did?
Because he spoke with me afterwards about the great use of the channel select button, because he hasn't caught up yet.
Aha, okay. Then I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
No, I don't know either. Izzy, if you're listening again this week, let us know down below in the comments section.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
But anyways, I do believe that's going to do it for another episode of Static Screen. And as per usual, James, why don't you take us away?
Okay, let's see if I can actually remember the outro. I should just write this down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's episode of Static Screen. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Thank you. We can never thank you guys enough, because without you, we are nothing. We're just a couple of nerds sitting here talking to each other. So, till next time, I'm ECW James.
I'm Papa Shango.
We out this bitch. Later.
Bye.